Well, hello, and welcome to this session, this Spark of Information. I'm Claudia G, and I'm here to share with you some very useful information that I know it's going to benefit you a lot. You're a business owner and you're trying to get your business to grow. You're trying to get people to see what you do and add value all the time. Then the first thing, the most important part, the base of everything is understanding your market. How well do you understand your audience? So I am going to try to give you tips, bits and tips, and a little pieces of information here and there. And I'm gonna divide it into several live sessions, and it's gonna be extremely useful because some of the things that people miss when building their business is the most important part, which is understanding who they're talking to. And that is the most important part. And sometimes we focus on the product or the service, and we're so focused on what we do or what we want to offer that we forget to figure out who we're talking to. Who is going to listen to us on the other side? Who is going to purchase our product or use our product? So that is essential. And I've seen a lot of people miss this, and it's sad. It's sad because there is a problem with communication and you're not getting to the client that you really want to get to. When you understand your market, you're going to be able to communicate with them. The first thing you can do once you understand who your market is write amazing headlines. Why? Because once you understand how they talk, who they are, and what excites them, then you can use that to your advantage to grab their attention. Once you know what they're looking for, there's your headline. That's how you're going to grab their attention. But if you don't know anything about your client, then it's really hard to grab their attention. You don't know what they like. You don't know what they're looking for. You don't know what excites them. So I might as well talk about a car and a Ferrari, for example. And I won't attract anybody in my business, which is my product-based business is accessories. People that like accessories are mostly women. They're 40 to 50, my target market. If I start talking about a Ferrari, I'm not gonna get the exact mix of people that I want to get to. Same thing happens if I want to sell a Ferrari. Probably I need a specific language to talk to them in a specific headline, something that they're looking for, something that is hurting them or they're looking for a solution to. So understanding who is it that you're talking to is key, and to write some headlines. And other than write some headlines, you can also write stories. And stories are definitely gonna be a little more descriptive. Titles of your products are gonna be so much better because the words that you're using are words that you know they're looking for. So, for example, in my product-based business, I need to add words like on trend, fashion, what people or women are trying to get when they purchase one of my accessories. They want to feel good about themselves, they want to feel powerful, they want to feel a lot of security, they want to feel pretty, they want to feel beautiful, they want to be on trend, they don't want to stay back. So those are the things that I know they have in their head and they're looking for and they're looking to solve. So there's always a reason why the sale is going to happen. There's always something that the client needs and you are bringing it to them. The more you can use your words and your communication, even if it's with a video or even if it's a sales letter in writing, a blog post, or you're just writing an email, the more you use those pieces of information that you know are going to grab their attention because it's exactly what they need, then the more conversions or the more sales you're going to have. That is a given. The more you're going to build that relationship, and instead of them thinking, why is this girl talking about Ferraris? I know nothing about Ferraris. They're going to end up thinking, she's reading my mind. Yes, I do want to be on trend, even though I don't know exactly what's on trend. I don't keep up to date, but if the yellow is the color of fall, then I might as well wear the color. Now, you see how it makes a difference? It does make a huge difference when you're applying these concepts because you are really thinking of your audience. You are putting all of your effort in understanding them, in infiltrating their market, if you want to call it that, because you want to understand every little bit of who they are and what they're looking for and how you can offer your products so it attracts them. At the end, all you want is for them to find you and not you be crazy throwing ads and paying advertising to get to your audience. You want to produce some content and have it out there so they can find you easily. Now, you can also, when you know your market, it's going to be so much easy to talk to your ideal client directly and more effective. How can you not, if you understand that person, how they feel, where they shop, what they do during their day? Do they go to work, or are they stay-at-home moms? Are they young people that like Snapchat, or are they older people like myself that like Facebook? Where do they hang out? Once you know a little bit more about them, you know exactly how to communicate. What are the channels that you're gonna use to get to them? What if I tried selling my accessories, my handbags in Snapchat? This is Paul again. Nothing. The proof of that is I have several teenagers at home and they don't wear my handbags. My handbags are designed for people between 35 and 55. So it's really hard for a 14-year-old or a 17-year-old to identify with my product and fall in love with it and be a raving fan because it's not made for them. It is not made or designed thinking of them. It's designed thinking of working women who have a busy life, who are empowered because they want to look good, and no matter what happens in their day, they put on their pretty clothes, their smile, and they're out to do whatever it takes. That is not a 14-year-old. Think about it. That is nothing like a 14-year-old. So if I use my advertising on Snapchat, I would spend all my money or my effort or my time talking to the wrong people. It's not gonna work. Definitely, it's just going to be a void. And what happens is people start talking, or people start asking themselves, oh, but I've done Facebook ads. Oh, but I've done Facebook Lives. But I also post on YouTube. But I also do this. And I send 5 or 6 emails a week. And it's not converting. Well, do you know? Do you now know why it's not converting? Because it has a lot to do about who you're talking to. Another example is I have one boy and several girls at my house. If I talk to them the same way, I know I'm not going to get my message across. I know talking to a 17-year-old is completely different. A 17-year-old boy is completely different than talking to a 17-year-old girl or 14-year-old girl. And you would think that 17-year-old boy and girl are similar. Nothing like that. Completely different. So having understanding the personality of each one, the gender, the situation they're in at that time, it's going to help me a lot on the choice of words that I use, the way I say it, the way I sell it to them. Sometimes I'm getting my kids to do some chores, or I want them to run an errand for me, and the way I put it for them makes a huge difference. Is my son is learning to drive. He's learning. So if I put it like, do you want a chance to go out and practice and go and get some hours in? Would you stop by CVS and get me this? That might be something enticing for him, because I know that he wants some training in driving, and he would love to do it. He would love any excuse to go out and drive, even if it's 2 blocks from here to get something in CVS. But if I want to ask the same favor from my daughter, who has been driving for a longer time, then I had to give her a different twist. I would say something like, hey, have you tried this nail polish, the clear nail polish, and the one that dries like in 2 seconds? And I would get into a conversation with her about that. For example, she was, yes, I've tried it, or no, I never had, but I've seen it on TV, I've seen videos, I would love to try it. Oh, I have an idea. Why don't you go to CVS and grab one of those and we can try it together? Isn't that a much better ask than, I need you to go to CVS and buy me something? Makes a huge difference, because the only difference I'm doing here is I'm understanding who I'm talking to. The same happens in business. The same happens in all industry. It doesn't matter what your industry is. You need to make sure that you're understanding who you're talking to. Are you talking to women? Are you talking to men? And then are you, much more specifically, what are the ages? What do they like to do? Where do they hang out? What are their pain points? How can you help them with their pain points? How can you add value? How can your services or your products help them? That is the best thing you can do to have some connection. Once you have that, it's very easy to build a relationship, and therefore a following and a tribe. It makes life so much easier, because you have so many things in common, because you know what they want and you can talk the same talk they do. You can talk about what worries them. Maybe their moms, they're like me, and they have teenagers at home, and we can talk about problems with teenagers, or solutions, or things, tips that you can do when you have teenagers at home. But if they have newborns, or if they have no babies, and I'm talking about handling your teenager or negotiating with your teenager, then I'm gonna lose them before I share with them what the problem I'm offering to fix for them is. I'm gonna lose them. They're gone. They're gone because they hear teenagers. Oh, I'm not a teenager, and I am not raising teenagers. I'm gone. I lost it. I'm not even paying attention to this. So that's how you build your tribe. That's how you build the people that are going to follow you, and always add value. That's the most important thing that I can tell you. Add value. And to increase engagement, all you need to do is speak the same language. Get people to understand you easily, because you're talking in their words. And I don't necessarily mean their slang, but if it helps, go do it. But if you understand how they put together a sentence about a problem they have, then that's exactly how you need to put it, because that's the easiest way for them to understand it. So think about what they post online, questions, for example, on how to use this or how to get that. How do they word it? Think about it. If they're wording it in a specific way with a specific term, those are the terms that you need to be using, because that's what they are going to be looking for. Those are their keywords. Think about Google search. They're going to come up with a search. They're going to put in, I don't know, let's say they're looking for nail polish. So maybe their thing at their stage in life, at their age, is just natural looking nail polish. Just an example. So if that's your audience, then you need to know that the look they want is natural. Otherwise, you would be going towards the people who are looking to excite and attract and glow with their nail polish. So they have a need to use bright colors, or even I don't know, different things that you can apply that are not the normal or the natural look. So you use those words, exactly those words. They use all the time in their searches or in their questions to find your language and speak their language, not yours. Remember, sales is not about you. Your product is not about you. Yes, in my case, I put a lot of me in my product because I'm the designer, but I'm always thinking of the final user. I get to use it and I try what I apply to my products, but I'm always thinking, what is that person looking for as a solution in their life with a handbag or with a pair of earrings? If I think that they're not going to wear something very heavy on their ears, because I know some people do because they're okay with it and they can tolerate and they're young and they don't care. Well, my clients don't. I know exactly because I've heard it directly from them. I've heard it in many ways. That's what they're looking for. They want lightweight earrings. So if I use that term, lightweight earrings, in my descriptions, when I talk about it, then that's definitely gonna attract them. That is gonna pull them in and learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about, because that is entertaining for them. Not only entertaining, they associate with it, and it's a solution for one of their pain points. So be sure that you know your market's language. Be sure that you understand it. Do a lot of research. And I'm going to show you in several Facebook Lives that I'm going to be doing more tips to identify that person, to find exactly the personality of your ideal client, who they are, what they do, where they hang out, how they feel, what are their pain points, and you've got it all. Once you know all these details, then it's so easy to communicate directly with them, and they are going to be your raving fans. Instead of you going to find them, they're gonna find you. So thank you for listening, and I am going to continue doing this. So tomorrow at noon Central Time, I'll see you here, same time, and we'll be talking about understanding your market's language, but I am going to be talking about something very specific, things that you can start doing to learn about your market. Bye for now.